Top Dog. Eileen Proctor here with another episode of Hair of the Dog on VLP TV. That's Villa La PAWS Cage-Free Pet Resort and Spa. And we're back with Laura Russell, the lead groomer at Villa La PAWS on Bell. Laura, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Great. I bet you it's getting pretty busy. The hot weather's coming up.
Hot weather's here. It's the season.
And everybody's looking for that solution to keep their dog looking good, feeling good. And that means a lot of people are asking for the dogs to be shaved, isn't it?
Yes, they are. A lot of people are making the assumption that if their hair feels better in the summer short, then the dogs must feel better.
And you're here to tell them
it's not necessarily true.
Tain't necessarily so, and you heard it from Laura. Laura, tell us about shaving. Is there ever a right time or a wrong time to shave a dog?
The hair actually acts as a natural insulator for the dog's coat. The one absolutely correct time to shave the dog is when a dog is matted solid.
Okay.
That is the only time that's necessary for a variety of reasons, and the dog must be shaved.
So it's like a mercy shave at that point.
It's a mercy shave.
Get him started all over again.
Right. But other than that, there are a lot of options that owners can look at besides shaving. It just kind of depends on what their reasons are for shaving, and understanding that it's not necessarily going to make the dog cooler. The dog cools itself down by panting.
Panting.
So if it's hot enough for you to sweat, it's hot enough for the dog to pant.
Okay, got you. So the dog's going to pant, and that's going to make it feel better in the summer months, in the warm months.
Yes.
And actually shaving could be counterproductive because that insulation against the sun is gone.
Yes, it is. The idea in the summer is to keep the undercoat, the secondary coat out. A dog actually puts on undercoat twice a year.
Right.
They put on a winter coat, shed it out in the spring, then they put on a summer coat, shed it out in the fall.
Gotcha. Okay. So you're not against shaving, you're just against shaving for the wrong reasons.
I'm not against shaving. For years I was, and now I realize why people do. In fact, I have shaved my own pugs and my own husky because of the hair.
Wow. Doesn't seem like there's enough hair on a pug to shave.
You should see the fur bunnies. They're bigger than my pugs on the floor.
Really? So let's talk about the shedding aspect of it. Does shaving stop shedding?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
The dog is still going to go through shed cycles, but they're going to shed much shorter hair.
Oh, that bristly stuff.
It's bristly, and it's still undercoat, it's still top coat, but they're going to shed shorter hair, so you're not going to see as much hair everywhere.
And, you know, I've seen some dogs that get shaved, and they kind of look uneven, like the groomer did a bad job, like the hair never grows in. Has the groomer done something wrong when that happens?
No, the groomer has not done anything wrong. There is
a
syndrome called shave coat alopecia. I have looked it up online, done a lot of research. It means the hair doesn't grow. And nobody really knows why alopecia comes up from shaving, but it does. It comes post-surgery, it comes post-grooming. It seems to be the closer the dog is shaved to the skin, the more likely it is to develop alopecia. And certain breeds are more predisposed to it than others.
And what kind of dogs are those?
The Labs, the Shepherds, the Golden Retrievers, the Chows, the Huskies, any of your Nordic breeds are very prone. They're the most likely.
And so basically you're advising not to shave them at all because there's a chance the hair might not ever grow back.
I'm not advising not to shave at all, but I'm saying to understand that you have a risk that this could come up. And when you develop alopecia, there's no known treatment. You can try vitamins, you can try fish oil, a variety of treatments. But the best thing is time. If you let the coat, if you realize that's happened, and you let the coat go through a full cycle, which is close to a year, the hair may grow back again. And it's still in May. I've seen most of them grow back. But if you continue to shave, it will become permanently damage to the skin and coat, and it won't grow back. You just have to commit to shaving at that point.
Is there any pain involved to the dog?
Not at all. It's totally painless. And some hair grows, some doesn't. So it does
that little patchwork thing going.
They look kind of moldy.
They look moldy, so you have to either keep them short or deal with what they look like.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right.
All right. So understanding that shaving's not always the answer, and that in fact it could create this problem called alopecia, there must be some alternatives to shaving that will keep the dogs looking and feeling good in the summer.
There are a lot of alternatives. One on these breeds, because these are breeds that are not traditionally shaved. Now, the poodles don't have the problem, the terriers, the cockers. It's always in the breeds, it seems like, that don't have a problem, that aren't traditionally shaved for their health and hygiene.
Okay.
So, one thing you can do is keep the undercoat out.
Right.
That's actually the #1 treatment to keep them cool, and we offer ways to do that with our Furminator treatments. We recommend that people buy their own Furminator blade and use it at home. The treatment we do in the shops do have a special shampoo and conditioner. We use the force dryers. All that helps loosen the coat even better. And then the Furminator is the best tool I've ever found to take out all that dead hair and to keep the hair out on a regular basis.
Right, we're going to show a picture of that so you see what the tool looks like. It looks kind of scary to me. Is it okay? Do you need special training to use a tool like that?
You don't need. You just have to remember, because the little teeth on it are sharp, you just have to remember to keep it angled with the skin. You don't want to dig it down into the skin. You just, not a lot of force either. A lot of people really want to dig and go at it. No, you don't want to do that. You want to go to places where the dog is hairy, not down the front of its legs, not down its hocks, not on its belly. You want to go in the hairy spots and just run it over lightly.
And so basically start it out with a professional Furminator treatment, and then you keep the maintenance
up. And you can maintain. And one thing we do often is we do the Furminator treatment because the dog is stressed when they're in the grooming shop. Good or bad stress can cause a dog to drop more coat. So we usually recommend they bring them back a week later and we go through them again.
Okay,
with the Furminator tool.
Great. And so I've seen some dogs, it looks really funny, like the hair is lumped, but then their belly looks like their belly shape. What's that all about?
It's called tunneling. If you get alopecia there, it's not going to really show unless your dog rolls over. But a lot of dogs like to lay on cement. Dogs are smart. When it's hot, they don't move a lot, and they lay on something cool like tile or cement.
My dog does that, by the way, in the winter too, when it's hot, when it's cold. Cassie, you know I'm talking about you.
So I recommend tunneling the whole belly out so they have skin and cold contact.
Okay.
And it keeps them much more comfortable.
Okay, that's good. What other type of tips can you give us to keep the dog's fur looking good and the dog feeling good when it's getting hot?
If your dog has enough hair, like a golden retriever is a common one, I recommend going with a longer haircut.
Okay.
It kind of solves the problem, but we use what's called a snap-on comb over a blade, so it's like a comb lifting, and the blade then cuts the hair. The blade is never in contact with the body that way. And it makes for a really nice puppy cut look. It's not to the skin, they're still going to shed, but it makes for a really nice look.
I know, that's what you do for my golden, and she just looks adorable. It makes her look and feel like a puppy. She's a little cooler, but she's protected from the sun, and she's just got that little, oh, I'm feeling kind of jaunty.
Yeah, a lot of dogs really do like the feel of being clipped. I don't know if they know they look sexy or what, but they feel really great. But speaking of the sun, one of the side drawbacks to shaving is a dog can sunburn. So I always ask if your dog's outside all the time. If it is, I would never shave the dog off or dedicate yourself to putting a shirt on it for a while.
A shirt? A special Villa La PAWS t-shirt for your pet.
That looks pretty sporty.
We think that when you go on your walks in the morning, you and your dog should wear a Villa La PAWS t-shirt. So let's talk about sunburn really quickly. Dogs get sunburned. Do they use a special type of a sunblock, or is it human grade? What do we do?
It's human grade, but I recommend getting one for babies.
For babies.
It's a lot safer, a lot less toxic. The dog may lick the product off. I have not heard of dogs getting sick from it, but you'd want to discourage them from licking if you can, and use one for babies.
And that's usually got the sunblock of like a 30 to 45 SPF?
Yeah, same as for our skin. And there are breeds, like greyhounds have notoriously thin coats, and I know people who have to use some sunblock on the greyhounds. Chinese crested is recommended for their skin because their skin actually tans, unlike other breeds.
Well, dogs that have a lot of pink in their ears, blue-eyed dogs because their skin is fair, and so you can actually put it on their nose. You can put it on the inside, the tips of their ears, if they like to lay on their back, on their bellies. And reapply after swimming.
And yes, reapply after swimming, but it's not necessarily a bad thing to do that anyways. I know of one dog when I worked at the vet that got caught in the pool fence while the owner was gone and was out in the heat all day, and even though it had a doggy door, it ended up with a second-degree burn all over its entire body.
Well, that's another thing that we want to talk about, which is please, it's getting hot. Do not leave your dogs outside in the sun unless they've got protection with the shade and they have lots of cool, fresh water. And as Laura said, make sure the grooming is appropriate to the breed, and make sure that you are keeping up with its grooming at home, and you should have a nice cool summer for your pet.
You and your pet.
Excellent. Well, you've now heard another very important and interesting topic on Hair of the Dog on VLP TV. That's Villa La PAWS Cage-Free Pet Resort and Spa. If you have any questions about grooming, whether it's this topic or any other, please call the number on the screen that you're seeing there, and Laura or one of the other fine groomers will be very happy to answer your questions. Laura, I think you got a dog waiting for you in the other room. So,
probably so.
All right, keep on grooming.
Thank you very much.
We'll talk to you next month.